Hello there everybody, thanks for dropping by to have a look at this video. I thought today we'd have a bit of a chat about divorce rates, why they've gone so high. You might remember back 30-40 years ago when you're with your parents, that they never seemed to really get divorced. It was a very uncommon thing to be divorced. If someone was divorced back 30 years ago, it'd be like people would say, "Oh, that lady or that man's divorced," like it was a stigma. These days, it's "Oh, well, divorced. Oh, well, that's just the way it is." Everyone's getting divorced. And I think in Australia here, it's getting close to the 50% mark. If it hasn't already hit it, I know it's getting close to the 50% mark of marriages end up splitting up and becoming divorced. So you wonder why that. And when I look at it, you go back 30-40 years ago to your parents. Life was a lot simpler in a lot of respects back then. I'm not saying it was better, but it was a lot simpler. So they would the roles were defined. So the man, it was very simple. He would usually go off to work, and that was his role, was to be the breadwinner and bring home the money to feed the family and get the family a home and all this sort of stuff. When the wife would usually stay at home, look after the kids and make sure the house is tidy and that sort of thing. Now, I know that's very old-fashioned, but the roles were very defined and they were very, very simple. You look at, fast forward to now, the man and the woman usually have to go out and work to be able to afford a house, a car, bring up the family, get all the things they want in life. So, but what happens is that usually the woman will get stuck with a large bulk of the housework as well, and the woman can get resentful of that, and that can cause some problems because the man sort of feels it's woman's work or whatever, and those old-fashioned values still remain within the marriage, but there's an imbalance. So there's an imbalance in what the man is doing to what the woman is doing. So both are working, they're both coming home, they're both tired, but one seems to get stuck with more work than the other, and that can lead to a lot of problems as well within the marriage. People, they really, these days, that things get a bit tough and they stop trying. They think, "Oh, what the hell, I can just dispose of this marriage and I'll go and find somebody else." They don't seem to have that drive to want to make a go of things when things get really tough. And all marriages, since marriages were invented or whatever way back when, all marriages have go through their peaks and their troughs, good times, bad times. It happens all the time, and it's a matter of staying strong and continue to try a bit harder when things aren't going that well. But it just doesn't seem to happen. I guess an obvious factor in divorce is infidelity. So people, I think especially when you're young or younger. I'm not saying that all young people or younger people will go out and have affairs, not by any means, but I think the temptation is more there when you're younger. I've noticed as you get older, the sex part of a relationship doesn't play as much importance as what it did when I was in my early 20s, for example. So I think that if there's a lot of temptation there when you're younger, and a lot of people just fall to that temptation. They're not strong enough to say no, or they don't want to say no, and they're not really comprehending what this relationship means to them in the longer term of things. So they really need to have a good look at why they got married. Is this the person they really want to spend the rest of their life with, and make that commitment, and it's not just a commitment now, but it's a commitment to working hard when things get tough, as we said. Another problem is that people get together and they think they can change each other. "Oh, you don't like this or that about him, but a good bloke or good woman, but I'll change those things as we go on, and I'll keep trying. And you might change it in the short term because they're trying to please each other in that early stage. But in the long term, those habits will come back, and then it'll be, oh my God, why are you doing this? The fact is, don't change people. Don't even try. If this is the person you want, accept that person with all their faults, because you have faults as well. We all have faults. So accept that person for who they are and embrace that. And realize that, you're not perfect. Things are not always going to be 100% spot on all the time. But, that's life. That's the way we get going in this world when we want to be in a relationship. If you don't like those things, don't be in a relationship. Easy. All right? Other things that happen is people just, they say, when people say they grow apart over the years. So, and that's true to extent if you stop doing things together. In the early days, you're going out here, there and everywhere with each other. You're in love or lust, whatever you want to call it, and you're doing everything together. But as time goes by, you might start to do things on your own, or you're going out with your friends and she's going out with her friends, and you're finding very little time for each other. So it's really important then to really look at the life work balance, the whole thing. How much am I working, how much am I spending time with my partner, how much are we doing things together, and how much am I doing things on my own, because we all do know that little bit of me time as well. So that's really important, to combine all those things in your life. If you can combine them all, then you'll probably find that you won't drift apart like that. You will stay together. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking, I'm drifting apart from my partner, well, you can change that. You can change that by doing those things we talked about. Examine your life and what the structure is around your life and the balance of your life, and see if you need to be spending more time with your partner and doing more things for him or her, and try and get things back on track that way. It's very easy, like I say, in the early stages, things that get exciting, and as time goes by, that all relationships change. The dynamics of the relationships change from very much excitement early on, and over the years it become more of a companionship. The lust and excitement sort of dissipates. So relationships do change, and people say when they have that change from the excitement, then it goes into the mid stage, and then it goes into the more companionship stage. People say, oh, I don't feel like I love him anymore. That's because there's been a change in relationships, and all relationships do that. They all do that. If you want to get some excitement back into your life, then you've got to look at other ways to do that into the relationship. Then you've got to look at ways how you can do that with your partner. Talk to your partner and say, look, things are a little bit flat at the moment. What can we do, to get things going? Do we need to start to spend more time together, going out places like we used to do, or whatever? That's my take really on why the divorce rate in this country is so high. People just hit that stage and they give up. They think, oh well, it's all too hard. So if you're one of those persons or people contemplating getting married, and you're not prepared to put a lot of hard work into it, then you shouldn't be getting married, because you'll end up in a lot of disappointment later. So I hope these tips have helped you all. I'd really like to get some feedback on the comments. So leave some comments if you agree, disagree, your views on it. I'd love to hear other points of views as well. Don't forget to hit the like button, share with your friends, let's get the word out there, and subscribe to the channel for more videos coming up very soon. Thanks very much. Have a great day.